Now on CoastTV News.
Circle sleeping changes as Georgetown deals with a homeless situation. How the Circle in the downtown is a part of the issue.
Delaware's nuclear debate, what state officials are looking at today in an effort to meet Delaware's growing energy needs.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Some of us away from the beaches waking up to some patchy frost this morning. A pleasant, dry start to the week with cool temperatures, but I'm tracking some big changes. Rain, wind returns to Delmarva. I'll have details coming up.
Fluharty and the Jays in L.A. How the Lewis native has played a key role in the World Series with Game 3 on tap for tonight.
This is CoastTV News Today.
It is Monday, October 27th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly, and thank you for being up with us during this 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, essentially, Grace, the last full week of October, and we're coming off a fun weekend. We were at Seawitch, had a blast there.
It was very fun, some nice Halloween festivities, and before you know it, we're going to be talking Thanksgiving and turkeys and mashed potatoes
food,
and gravy.
Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, well, while we get our Thanksgiving menu in store, we got a menu of weather to talk about, some cold temperatures, and let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobrano. He has your first look at First Alert weather. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, it was a gorgeous weekend for Seawitch. Met some great people down there. Gave some curbside forecasts out as well. I was even given some shrimp as well. As we take a look into Salisbury, 40 degrees there. It's a dry, calm, pleasant start to our day. We're at 36 in Long Neck. 34 in Harrington, so some patchy frost possible through the morning time frame where winds are calm. Seeing some fog there develop along the Chesapeake Bay through Easton. 3/4 of a mile visibility. There's that frost advisory excluding the beaches, and that runs through 9 a.m. this morning for Sussex as well as Talbot counties. We're dry. We're going to stay that way today. See some showers down to the south. Most of this is not reaching the ground, but an area of low pressure across Arkansas and Mississippi, that's going to extend off the coast and bring us some shower activity and wind as we go into the day tomorrow. So a cold start. Temperatures in the 30s away from the coast with that patchy frost, and a gorgeous afternoon as we continue this cool weather and dry conditions. But that's going to change as we go into the day on Tuesday. Wind, damp conditions return, and then yes, a ghoulish mid to late week as we're tracking a more significant storm system that will bring another round of rain and wind, and that comes Wednesday through Thursday. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today with highs topping out right around 60 degrees. We'll talk more about that late week storm system coming up a bit later on the forecast. Matt and Grace.
All right, thank you, Chris. And our top story this morning is that rules could soon change for when people can sleep in the Georgetown Circle.
CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is live in Georgetown. Elisa, today the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that changes the current rules.
Matt and Grace, I am here in the Georgetown Circle where the rules as to when you can sleep here could be changing. Right now, you are not allowed to sleep in the Circle from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. But today the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that would ban sleeping here from sunset to sunrise. And this ordinance comes after much public outcry, with many people saying that Georgetown is becoming overrun with homeless individuals, especially along the town's train tracks and wooded areas. The Georgetown Police Department confirmed that it receives complaints about panhandling on a daily basis. However, officials noted that sitting on sidewalks and holding signs is considered protected free speech under the law. And after that second reading today, new rules could be adopted. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Elisa Weber in Georgetown. Also on the table tonight for that Georgetown Planning Commission is a public hearing about allowing cottage housing developments in the town. The goal of Little Living LLC, that's a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. But before all that happens, Georgetown needs to amend the current urban residential 1 zone to allow cottage housing developments. Tony Vinciaguerra, a board member and secretary of Little Living, says the nonprofit has received loans and other donations to help fund this project.
All this is meant to fit in within their existing income so that they can then spend the rest of their money on health care, automobiles, taking their kids to events and so forth.
According to Little Living LLC, monthly rent for the 1-bedroom homes will go at $950, 2 bedrooms at $1,100, and the 3 bedrooms $1,200. All include utilities and internet access. And this just in, after a number of calls for his removal, the chair of the Democratic Party Sussex County, Jeff Balk, submitted his resignation. Now, this is video of Balk from earlier this year. He posted the resignation on the Democratic Party Sussex County, Delaware Facebook page last night. In his statement, Balk said he did not want to become a distraction to the candidates who are running in the 2026 cycle. This is a developing story. Stay tuned to Coast TV for updates when they become available.
Severe weather moved through Florida over the weekend. More than a foot of rain fell across portions of central Florida on Sunday. A rare flash flood emergency remains in effect for some parts of the state. The threat for heavy rain continues through parts of central Florida today. Happening today, Delaware lawmakers taking a fresh look at nuclear power. A new nuclear energy feasibility task force meets today at 10 a.m. through noon at Legislative Hall in Dover. According to lawmakers, the bipartisan group will study small modular reactors. They'll examine costs, regulations, reliability, and environmental impacts. A release from Delaware Senate Majority Caucus says, according to the United States Energy Information Administration, Delaware currently uses nearly 100 times more energy than it produces.
Also happening today, Bethany Beach is working to fight erosion, but not on the coastline. According to the town, crews will begin the months-long process to build an 850-foot retaining wall along the Bethany Beach Loop Canal. This is to stop erosion and protect natural habitat. It's a project that's over $1 million, and for years, those in town have said the Loop Canal has been a source of flooding. And for more information on the years it took to get this project off the ground, you can head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com.
The downtown Millsboro area is still adjusting to that new Millsboro bypass that opened just a month ago. A main complaint has been trucks still passing through downtown. Some people are seeming to be frustrated by the traffic. A frequent visitor at the starting lineup, barbershop Antonio Satchel, says he likes the new overpass, but its success likely won't reveal itself until this summer.
I do like the bypass. I love it. It just look different to be this little Delaware, lower, slower down here. I love it.
While the bypass has been open, DelDOT says it will not be completely finished until 2026.
New this morning, there is a focus in Lewis on several infrastructure and environmental projects. This is a joint meeting between the mayor and city council and the Board of Public Works. According to the agenda, they plan to review updates on the 4th Street water, sewer, stormwater, and street project and other topics at a 1 p.m. meeting held at the Margaret H. Rollins Community Center.
Also new this morning, people in Lewis will have one last chance to weigh in on plans for the future of Great Marsh Park. This at a public engagement session tonight. According to the agenda, attendees will be able to review conceptual plan boards and ask final questions before the plan is submitted to the Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. This all takes place at 5 p.m. tonight at the Margaret H. Rollins Community Center.
President Trump is in Japan this morning for the next stop on his 3-country Asia tour. It's all leading to a highly anticipated meeting with China's president.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how word of a break in the stalemate over a critical trade deal could impact conversations.
President Trump arriving in Japan this morning for the second leg of his Asia tour. The trip set to culminate in a meeting Thursday in South Korea with Chinese President Xi Jinping amid an apparent breakthrough in high-stakes trade talks.
I think we'll have a good deal with China, and they want to make a deal.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on NBC's Meet the Press announcing a framework for a trade deal to avoid President Trump's threatened 100% tariff increase on Chinese imports to the U.S.
I believe we've reached a very substantial framework that will avoid that and allow us to discuss many other things with the Chinese.
Inking a deal would help to wind down the trade war between the world's 2 biggest economies, while at the same time tensions ratcheting up with one of America's closest allies.
Canada has been ripping us off for a long time. One of the most difficult countries to deal with has been Canada.
President Trump doubling down on slapping an additional 10% tariff on goods coming in from Canada because of an anti-tariff Government of Ontario TV ad featuring segments edited from a 1987 radio address by President Reagan.
America's jobs and growth are at stake.
The ad ran during the World Series over the weekend, but Ontario's premier says it will stop today. No meeting over the weekend when Canada's Prime Minister and President Trump were both in Malaysia for a trade summit, leaving a mixed picture on trade as American businesses and consumers wait for the impact on prices at home. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Pretty crazy video here. Crews rushed to the Mardella boat ramp Saturday night after reports of a truck in the Nanticoke River, and that's exactly what they found. Firefighters say no one was inside. We have reached out to the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office for more information on this car.
Tonight it's Game 3 of the World Series. Let's look back to Game 1 on Friday. Lewis native Mason Fluharty in a tie game in the 5th strikes out the Dodgers all-everything Shohei Ohtani. Fluharty's Blue Jays would win that game, and now the scene shifts to Los Angeles for Game 3. The series is tied at a game apiece.
We're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Battle of the High School Bands, the two competitions that took place across Delmarva over the weekend.
Also, Melissa making a major impact. We'll show you just some of the damage already happening at areas in the path of the storm.
And Rehoboth restaurant moves. This construction work here is making one popular food spot say goodbye to its current location, and we'll tell you where it plans to reopen. And there's First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the Weather Center. We're going to check in with him next.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. It was an absolutely beautiful weekend with sunshine and temperatures right around 60 degrees. Right now we're holding at 46 in Dover, and we are seeing some pretty cold spots this morning. Well inland, 34 Harrington and Bridgeville. We're at 33 in Reading, so expect some patchy frost away from the beaches where temperatures are actually quite mild, 50 in Rehoboth, and we're at 52 in Indian River Inlet. We see some light rain well to our south. Most of this is not reaching the ground, but we'll see additional clouds stroll through the area throughout the day today. Average high 66. We were hovering right around that 60-degree mark through the weekend. It was a gorgeous day, and highs relatively similar today. Lower 60s with partly cloudy skies through Lewis, Rehoboth, and Dewey Beach, as well as Ocean City. A bit more in the way of cloud cover, I think, through Ocean City and Chincoteague as we get closer to that area of low pressure. But a cool, beautiful start to the week. But changes are coming by Tuesday. An area of low pressure will pass to our south, and the winds are really going to begin picking up, especially at the coast, where we could see some gusts as high as 45 miles an hour, and that could prompt some minor coastal flooding. We'll talk more about that storm system and a more significant storm system later on in the week coming up in that 7-day forecast. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. The beloved Rehoboth Beach restaurant Eden is moving. In a social media post, the restaurant said it's leaving Baltimore Avenue after New Year's Eve. Now that's to move to where Red, White, and Basil is on the highway. Eden says Red, White, and Basil will close on November 2nd. Eden's been on Baltimore for 20 years and says Jam Bistro will be where Coho's Market is now on the avenue.
And here is why Eden is moving and Jam was torn down. Construction for the Atlantic Crown Hotel is going to take place right next to the existing Atlantic Sam's, and where Jam was and Eden is.
Amazon has announced Prime members will now be able to get 25 cents off every gallon of gas at participating BP, Amigo, and AM/PM stations. That offer runs through December 26th, but is only good on Fridays. In order to redeem the perk, you need to get a free Earnify account and link it to your Amazon account. But don't worry if you miss out, because Prime members are still able to get their normal 10 cents off a gallon once the promotional period ends.
Southwest Airlines is offering customers a chance to surf the net while soaring the sky. The Dallas-based carrier now has free in-flight Wi-Fi for passengers who are Rapid Rewards members. And this comes as Southwest is making big changes to its operations, including the introduction of new fare tiers and checked bag fees. In 2026, it plans to unveil assigned seating.
Well, for the third straight morning, we're waking up to temperatures in the 30s away from the beaches this morning, and expect partly cloudy skies through the day. Today we'll be up to 57 by around 11 on our way to highs right around the 60-degree mark. We will talk about rain, wind, and some potential coastal flooding impacts throughout the week. I'll break it all down my full forecast just after the break on CoastTV News Today.
We're hitting 5:19 on this Monday morning, and you're looking live at the lights of the Ferris wheel at the Ocean City Inlet. Over the weekend, Chris, people were enjoying the great fall weather there, along with Sunfest in Ocean City.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a picture-perfect fall weekend. We had temperatures right around 60 degrees, plenty of sunshine, and we're going to continue that theme today. And then some changes, though, as we roll into Tuesday and the rest of the week. We're at 34 in Harrington, 38 Seaford, 33 in Reading, so some patchy frost greeting us this morning, primarily west of Coastal Highway. Winds are calm, and we're seeing some fog there in and across Easton, about 3/4 mile visibility. Now, that frost advisory continues Caroline, Kent, Sussex, Talbot counties, excluding the beaches. That is up through 9 a.m. We also have gale watches up. Those run through 6 a.m. on Wednesday. So we're dry at the moment. You can see some shower activity extending from Raleigh down through the Outer Banks. Most of this through Virginia is not reaching the ground, but some clouds will be infiltrating the area through the day today. Here's an area of low pressure over Mississippi. This is going to push eastward and then off the Carolinas and then kind of skirt off the coast, but the high to the north and the low to the south is going to produce a pressure gradient. So some strong winds expected as we go into Tuesday. We're at 51 right now in Ocean City. Expect partly cloudy skies through the morning. We're up to 54 by around 9. On our way to highs, once again, upper 50s to lower 60s across the area. Winds will be picking up out of the northeast today, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour, but really begin picking up Tuesday. You can see them gusting 36 to near 40 miles an hour through Tuesday afternoon, and that's going to kick off quite a windy stretch of weather through the end of the week. Now, as far as precipitation is concerned, we'll see partly cloudy skies through the evening, a mostly cloudy overnight, and then Tuesday expecting that onshore wind to really start ramping up, and then we'll see some moisture work in here Tuesday night. Light to moderate rainfall, not expecting a whole lot of rainfall out of this first wave of moisture. It's the second round of rain that we're keeping a close eye on. This secondary area of low pressure. It's going to be coming in Wednesday through Thursday. That one will be a bit stronger and a bit heavier, but unlike last week when we had that system off the coast, this is going to track to our west, and we're expecting a heavy round of rain. Looks like Thursday morning through midday Thursday, even a rumble of thunder is possible. Now, the good news is it looks like it does get out of here in time for the trick-or-treaters. Now, rainfall totals through, this is Thursday into Friday, looking upwards of 1 to 2 inches of rain. Hurricane Melissa, as of the latest advisory at 5 a.m., now a powerful Category 5 hurricane, winds 160, gusts 190 as it slowly pushes towards Jamaica and then eventually Cuba and then the Bahamas. Good for us here. It doesn't affect Delmarva as that system will push out to sea through the end of the week. The rain arrives late tomorrow through Wednesday, light to moderate rainfall, then the heavier rain Wednesday through Thursday. And windy, we're at 61 for Halloween with breezy conditions and looking rather dry and pleasant for next weekend. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Now, we had a lot of people at Sea-Witch ask our Coast TV meteorologist like Chris about Hurricane Melissa. The hurricane is expected to strengthen into a Category 5 storm. The video we have here, this is from Haiti and Jamaica where the storm is already wreaking havoc.
Here's more footage coming out of Jamaica where people are being asked to evacuate after forecasters say Melissa will cause catastrophic and life-threatening flash flooding and numerous landslides.
And as for the homes and businesses that must stay in place, people in Jamaica are lining the perimeters with sandbags. We're showing you that here on your screen. There are stacks of them in front of many places in the hopes of protecting them from the flooding.
Up next on Coast TV News today, Battle of the High School Bands. We'll show you the performances from students over the weekend in both Maryland and Delaware. We'll be right back. Saturday was an exciting day for student musicians across the peninsula. 2 band competitions took place over the weekend. First, schools in Delaware and Eastern Maryland met in Middletown for the Tournament of Bands, a state-level competition, and in Salisbury, bands from the Maryland Marching Band Association performed at the Wicomico County Stadium.
Well, depending upon where you're at this morning, you're seeing some patchy frost well inland, quite mild at the coast where we're at 40s and 50s right now. Ocean City coming in at 51. So enjoy today because today's going to be a really nice day. Partly cloudy skies. We'll get those temperatures near 60 degrees through Ocean City by around lunchtime, as well as Fenwick Island. Winds are really going to pick up tomorrow. Breezy conditions today, upwards of 25 miles an hour through Lewis and Rehoboth. As we make our way into Cambridge, we'll see partly cloudy skies through the afternoon with temperatures right around 59 degrees, and then we'll be right around 58 through the noontime hour in Crisfield. We have our umbrella winner. We have Lori Rourke of Fishing Creek, Maryland. You're the winner of our Paul Davis umbrella, and you get your latest forecast as always by dialing the First Alert weather phone. We have rain, wind to contend with tomorrow, and even another storm system, a more significant storm system later on in the week. We'll talk more about that coming up in the next half hour. Grace.
Thanks, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, construction at Loop Canal will outline the work taking place in Bethany Beach today.
Also, proposed homes permit. We'll tell you what Georgetown officials say needs to change to allow for a new type of development.
And Circle sleeping subject to change. We'll tell you about an ordinance that could amend a ban in Georgetown. Coast TV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
River Ramp Rescue, what emergency crews found in Mardella and what they are still trying to learn.
Circle sleeping changes as Georgetown deals with a homeless situation, how the Circle in the downtown is a part of the issue.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Some of us away from the beaches waking up to some patchy frost this morning. A pleasant, dry start to the week with cool temperatures, but I'm tracking some big changes. Rain, wind returns to Delmarva. I'll have details coming up.
Bethany battles erosion. We look at what the town is considering to help fortify the Loop Canal.
This is Coast TV News Today.
October 27th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly, and thank you for joining us.
5:30 a.m. You know, we're tracking a traffic situation in Sussex County, the western middle part. Northbound lanes of Sussex Highway, this is at Beach Highway, are currently closed due to a serious crash.
And state police are asking those traveling in the area to avoid the area for delays. We're joined now by First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. He's going to prepare you as you make your way out the door.
Good morning, Grace and Matt. A pleasant good morning to you, Delmarva. Yes, it's a cold start for some of us away from the beaches as we take a live look into Dover. Dry start to the day. Temperature there 46 degrees. Winds are calm, and you can see we're down to 33 in Redden, 35 Bridgeville, 37 and in Laurel, and 37 in Millsboro. Winds are calm for the most part, and those winds will pick up a bit through the afternoon. Seeing some patchy fog there east and right off the Chesapeake Bay there. Visibility down to 3/4 of a mile. Now this frost advisory continues for Caroline, Kent, Sussex, Talbot counties, excluding the beaches, and that is up through 9 a.m. this morning. We are clear and dry. We are tracking low pressure well to our south. You can see most of that shower activity south of Norfolk not reaching the ground. But that area of low pressure is going to push off the Carolinas as we go into the day tomorrow, and that's going to bring us around to showers and wind. So we have a cool, dry day to start the week. Temperatures right around 60 degrees. The clouds really roll in tomorrow, and then we'll see showers, drizzle, and the gusts. The winds will really begin to pick up, especially at the coast, as high as 40 to 45 miles an hour. So a beautiful afternoon. We're at 60 at the coast, 61 to 62 through most of interior Delmarva under partly cloudy skies. I'll talk more about that storm system later on in the week, coming up a bit later on the newscast. Matt and Grace.
Thanks, Chris. Our top story this half hour, rules could soon change for when people can sleep in the Georgetown Circle.
Yeah, the Circle is where we find Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber. Today, the council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that changes the current rules. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, I'm here in the Georgetown Circle where rules as to when you can sleep here could be changing. Currently, you are allowed to sleep in the Circle from 11 p.m. You're not allowed to sleep in the Circle from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. But today, the town council is holding a second reading of an ordinance that would ban sleeping here from sunset to sunrise. And this ordinance comes after much public outcry, as many say that Georgetown is becoming overrun with homeless individuals, especially along the town's train tracks and wooded areas. The Georgetown Police Department confirmed that it receives complaints about panhandling on a daily basis. However, officials noted that sitting on sidewalks and holding signs is considered protected free speech under the law.
all the time. There's just too much, homeless.
And after the second reading of that ordinance, new rules could be adopted. Back to you.
Lisa Weber in Georgetown, thank you for that. Now we're going to stay in Georgetown for this next story because on the table tonight of the Planning Commission, there's a public hearing about allowing cottage housing developments in the town. The goal of Little Living LLC, that is a Delaware-based nonprofit, is to provide 22 affordable housing units to people in the area. But before all that happens, Georgetown needs to amend the current urban residential 1 zone to allow cottage housing developments. According to Little Living LLC, monthly rent for 1-bedroom homes will be $950, 2 bedrooms $1,100, and 3 bedrooms $1,200. All of them include utilities and internet access.
This just in, after a number of calls for his removal, the chair of Democratic Party Sussex County, Jeff Balk, submitted his resignation. This is video of Balk from earlier this year. He posted the resignation on the Democratic Party Sussex County, Delaware Facebook page last night. In his statement, Balk said he did not want to become a distraction to the candidates who are running in the 2026 cycle. This is a developing story, so stay tuned with CoastTV for updates when they become available.
Happening today, Bethany Beach is working to fight erosion, but not on the coastline. According to town officials, crews will begin the months-long process of building an 855-foot retaining wall along the Bethany Beach Loop Canal to stop erosion and protect natural habitat. It's nearly a $1.4 million project, and for years, people living in the town have said the Loop Canal is a source of flooding.
Also happening today, Delaware lawmakers taking a fresh look at nuclear energy. A new nuclear energy feasibility task force will meet today from 10 a.m. to noon at Legislative Hall in Dover. And according to lawmakers, the bipartisan group will study small modular reactors. They'll examine cost, regulations, reliability, and environmental impacts. A release from the Delaware Senate Majority Caucus says, according to the United States Energy Information Administration, Delaware currently uses nearly 100 times more energy than it produces.
The downtown Millsboro area is still adjusting to the new bypass that opened almost a month ago. A main complaint has been trucks still passing through downtown, and some people are seeming to be frustrated by the traffic. Now, while the bypass has been open, Dahlett says it will not be completely finished until 2026.
This is some pretty crazy video here. Crews rushed to the Mardella boat ramp Saturday night after reports of a truck stuck in the Nanticoke River, and that's exactly what they found. Firefighters say no one was inside. We have reached out to the Wacomico County Sheriff's Office for more information on this car.
New overnight, President Donald Trump will be sitting down with Chinese leader Xi Jinping for their first face-to-face meeting since Trump won re-election. The talks come after months of escalating threats between the two countries.
But as Reed Banan shows us, this might be an end in sight.
I believe that we have the framework for the two leaders to have a very productive meeting for both sides.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on Sunday outlining the framework for a U.S.-China trade deal to avoid imposing an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports.
I think it will be fantastic for U.S. citizens, for U.S. farmers, and for our country in general.
President Donald Trump is set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping Thursday in South Korea on the final leg of Trump's 3-country tour of Asia. On Air Force One over the weekend, Trump previewed what he hopes to achieve with the meeting.
A complete deal. I want our farmers to be taken care of, and he wants things also. We're going to be talking about fentanyl, of course. I think we have a really good chance of making a very comprehensive deal.
Halting Chinese exports of fentanyl's precursor chemicals was part of the framework U.S. and Chinese negotiators reached. On another component of the framework, Bessent said China will make substantial purchases of U.S. soybeans.
I'm also anticipating that we will get some kind of a deferral on the rare earth export controls that the Chinese had discussed.
Also, the two leaders are expected to finalize a deal to allow TikTok's U.S. operations to continue. In September, the White House announced an American investor group led by Oracle's Larry Ellison would operate the app's algorithm in the U.S. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
French police have made arrests in connection with that daylight jewelry heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Officials say 2 men were taken into custody on suspicion of organized theft and criminal conspiracy. Investigators are still working on locating all the perpetrators involved, as well as locating the 8 pieces of stolen crown jewels that have an estimated value of $102 million.
1 person has been killed and 6 others hurt at a shooting at Lincoln University in Chester County, Pennsylvania on Saturday. Police say Zaquias Morgan Thompson of Wilmington, Delaware, is currently in custody and facing a charge of carrying a concealed firearm without a license. That shooting took place outside of the school's International Cultural Center during a homecoming event.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up on CoastTV News today, medical call chaos. We'll tell you about a medical call that turned more serious in Millsboro.
Also, McLaurin's return. We're expecting Washington's big play threat back in the lineup. We'll hear from Terry ahead of tonight's game against the Chiefs. Stay with us on CoastTV News today.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. Yes, it's Monday. If you're feeling a little sluggish, the good news is we're going to continue our beautiful weather we had over the weekend for one more day today before we see some changes into Tuesday. We're at 40 right now in Salisbury. We are seeing some pretty cold temperatures away from the beaches, so some patchy frost is possible. 34 Redden, 34 in Harrington, and 38 in Gumboro, but 49 in Rehoboth. Low pressure still well off to our south, and the shower activity is going to really hold off until tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. So maybe getting a ride on the ferry this morning through the afternoon, looking very nice. Now the winds will pick up a bit through the afternoon, some breezy conditions, 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts. Now we have 2 systems that we're going to be dealing with this week. The first one coming in Tuesday through early Wednesday, more of a nuisance system, a lot of wind with this one, but then a more significant storm comes in Wednesday through Thursday. That will bring a heavier round of rain and another round of wind. I'll break that down more further coming up my full 7-day forecast. Grace.
In traffic news, a heads up for drivers on Route 1 near Milton. DelDOT says beginning today, crews will install pavement markings and signs to reconfigure crossovers on Route 1 between Broadkill River and Red Fox Lane. According to DelDOT, this will improve safety by reducing conflict points. During the work, drivers should expect delays due to the lane closures. Also, heads up for drivers in Millsboro. On your screen now is where DelDOT says closures will start to take place today in order to reconstruct the roadway. It's Godwin School Road between Revel Road and Millsboro Highway. The agency says the closure is scheduled to last now through November 2nd.
Tonight, Washington closes out Week 8 of the NFL season with a roadie at the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Burgundy and Gold have lost 2 in a row, but tonight they're looking to get a jump start to the offense with the return of wide receiver Terry McLaurin. McLaurin has missed the last 4 games and dealing with a right quad injury. This could be a big boost for Washington quarterback Marcus Mariota, who's making another start for the injured Jaden Daniels. The recent slide has been frustrating for McLaurin to watch from afar.
I have skin in the game, but I haven't been out there, you know what I mean? And so I'm part of this team. I've been as entrenched as I can while being away, but at the same time, like my presence not being on the field, you know, is tough for me. And I'm just looking forward to putting my best foot forward this week and really helping this team try to get a win.
And Washington looks to get back to 500 with a win tonight. Kickoff in Kansas City is set for 8:15. On Sunday at the field in South Philly, Saquon Barkley, he's from Penn State, Grace, had 150 yards rushing, 65 of those, first quarter touchdown run. It's a 38-20 Eagles winner over the Giants. The Birds are now 6-2 on the season. To Baltimore, Derrick Henry, 2 rushing touchdowns and leading the Ravens to a 30-16 win over the Bears. That snaps a 4-game slide, and we could see Lamar Jackson back in the lineup for the upcoming Thursday night game in Miami.
Back here at home, coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 6:30 p.m. Y-High taking on Kent Island in high school football. Then catch that final score at 10:30 p.m. Along with that Y-High football game, here's what you can catch on DSN Plus. At 3:45, Padua Academy takes on Ursuline in field hockey, and at 6:30, Cape Henlopen visits Sussex Central in boys soccer. And also at 6:30, Hodson faces Smyrna, also in boys soccer. An Academy Award-winning director has feelings about artificial intelligence. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Oscar-winning filmmaker Guillermo del Toro says he would rather die than use generative AI. He told NPR, "I hope to be able to remain uninterested in using it at all until I croak." The Frankenstein director says his Victor is similar to the tech bros. He's kind of blind, creating something without considering the consequences.
I just don't want to forget them. My mom's trying to make it like my dad never even existed.
McKenna Grace runs the gamut of emotions in Colleen Hoover's Regretting You. Co-stars Allison Williams, Dave Franco, and Mason Thames were impressed.
McKenna's able to kind of tap into these deep emotions so quickly in a way that I don't think I've ever seen before. And then Josh, our director, calls cut. And she's just in a good mood, and she's joking around, and she's doodling.
I don't know, I just like to be very positive and energetic wherever I go, just because I think it's better than
McKenna all around is just a good vibe on set. Like it's.
I try.
Yeah, I mean, like I show up on set in the mornings and she's like, oh, where's McKenna? Where's McKenna? Where's she at?
Colleen Hoover's Regretting You is now in theaters. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Rough week? Well, cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and so much more. You can sign up for free at Coast TV News/sign up and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Well, we're seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s this morning. Our dry, cool weather is going to continue with highs right around 60 under partly cloudy skies. We will talk about rain, wind, and some coastal flooding impacts the rest of the week. I'll break that down in my full 7-day forecast.
It's 5:49 a.m. and let's take a live look into Ocean City. Chris, we had beautiful weather over the weekend. It was Saturday. It was sunny for our first Sea Witch. Matt, now a Sea Witch veteran at this point, I think. And it sounds like that beautiful weather will continue into today.
Yeah, we're going to start the week off on a really nice note. Temperatures right around 60 degrees. It's quite a cold start away from the coast. Seeing some patchy frost where temperatures are in the 30s. We're at 34 Redden, 38 in Seaford, 40s and 50s at the coast, 48 in Rehoboth. Winds are calm, skies are partly cloudy. We have that frost advisory excluding the beaches, and that runs up through 9 a.m. for Sussex and Kent counties. We also do have gale watches up, and those run through 6 a.m. on Wednesday, expecting those winds to really begin to pick up tomorrow along the coast. Now, we are dry, and we're going to stay that way today. You can see some light shower activity through the outer banks. Most of that rain is not reaching the ground, but you can see this area of low pressure across Mississippi. That's going to push east and then off the Carolinas, and that will eventually spread some showers into the area come tomorrow afternoon and evening. We're at 40 in Salisbury. Expect partly cloudy skies through the morning with a temperature of 48 degrees by around 9 this morning. Highs today, 59 Milford to 61 in Georgetown, high around 61 in Cambridge, 61 in Salisbury to 63 in Snow Hill. Winds out of the northeast today gusting upwards of 25, but as I mentioned, those winds are really going to begin picking up tomorrow morning through the afternoon, gusting upwards of 35 to 40 miles an hour at the coast. That could prompt some minor coastal flooding through high tide tomorrow, and then the persistent northeast flow is going to really continue for most of the week. Now, we stay dry through this evening and overnight, and even most of tomorrow is dry. I think late tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening, we'll begin to see some showers, some light to moderate rainfall. Not expecting a whole lot of heavy rain out of this initial area of low pressure, as the bulk of that moisture will stay to our south and east. As we go to Wednesday, expect a mostly cloudy day with a few spotty showers, but the bulk of that rain, the more significant storm system, comes in Wednesday through Thursday. This system, unlike last week, this system is tracking to our west, not off the coast, so we are going to see a surge of some rain and even a rumble of thunder Thursday morning through Thursday afternoon. Now, the good news is the system pushes to the north, and we see drier, breezier conditions just in time for the trick-or-treaters as we go into Friday. Now, rainfall totals, this initial batch tomorrow looks like about 1/4 of an inch, but then as we get into Thursday, that looks like to be on the order of 1 to 2 inches. Hurricane Melissa, now a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. You see that vivid eye, winds 160. We're expecting this to produce life-threatening storm surge and wind for Jamaica. Then it pushes into Cuba on Wednesday, and then eventually the Bahamas as we go into Wednesday, Thursday. The good news is this will not impact us here on Delmarva and push out to sea as we go into Friday. Halloween looks like we dry out 61, so that is certainly good news. And the weekend ahead looking pretty nice with temperatures around 62 degrees. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A house fire broke out in Millsboro, and this was after a call for medical services. Look at these photos here. The fire ravaged the house. Indian River volunteer fire officials say at first just medical service were sent out for a person with severe burns. But once EMS arrived, they saw a fire on two sides of the house. They called in the firefighters. One person was taken to a hospital with burns. The other declined any additional care. And this morning, the Delaware State Fire Marshal is still attempting to determine its cause.
Across Delmarva, improving emergency services in Easton. Over the weekend, the Easton Volunteer Fire Department celebrated the new A. James Clark Emergency Services Training Center with a ribbon cutting. Officials say the new building includes a classroom building, a practice pad for car fire extraction, and traffic safety training, as well as a burn building for real fire drills and for law enforcement to simulate hostage situations, active shooter situations, and more. One Easton firefighter says the building is for all first responder agencies.
It's not focused on one specific group within the emergency responder group. It is focused on all of them. We look at it as basically three legs on a stool. All three of them operate together. We train together and we make calls together.
According to officials, this is the first of its kind facility on the Midshore and a major upgrade for all first responders. It is now 5:54 a.m. and it's time to check in with our Coastal Pet of the Day.
Yeah, Grace, and we're wishing today's Coastal Pet of the Day a belated happy
birthday. Happy birthday!
That's Benny. We've seen Benny plenty of times, and the birthday boy turned 6 yesterday.
Oh.
Grace, hope you didn't eat too much cake.
I think it's his birthday. He's allowed to have however much he wants. Good for Benny.
That's a good point there, too. And Grace was submitted to us, or Benny was submitted to us, as always, by Tammy and Seaford.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos and tell us what makes them so special to you. You can take a look at your screen now.
Yeah, scan that QR code top center there. Get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Well, it's a pleasant and dry start to our day here on Delmarva. We're seeing temperatures in the 30s and 40s this morning. And overall, we're going to continue that nice dry weather we had over the weekend. And temperatures are going to be in the 60s today.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking at temperatures actually going to rise to around 60 degrees this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies. Now, well, the good news is we stay dry. Tuesday, we're looking at showers and drizzle. Winds really going to begin picking up at the coast by Tuesday, gusting as high as 40 miles an hour. And then we're tracking a more significant storm system Wednesday through Thursday. But overall, it looks like that storm gets out of here in time for Halloween, so that's certainly good news.
That sounds like some perfect timing then.
All right, looking forward to that. And coming up in our next hour, Circle Sleeping changes how the heart of downtown Georgetown is playing a role in a homeless situation. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.